Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Tineco FLOOR ONE S5 Steam. This is a smart steam floor washer. Tineco did send me the sample, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. The handle will only fit one way for installation, so don't force it. You're going to want to position the handle so it'll be just like this on the unit once it's installed. So this part's going to be overhanging with the display and the main brush roller. So point this towards those and you'll be all set and ready to go. Here's what it looks like on this side versus this side. That's going to be the back side here. That's going to be a little release if we ever need to disengage the handle for whatever reason. So anyways, line it up right there. Just gently press it down and into place, and it'll snap right in. So we have it in, and we press down. There we go. It just snapped in. Now we have everything installed on our steam unit. The last thing we're going to do is tidy up its charging base. Just take the two accessory storage pieces and just gently press them down into place like so. Then we can add our extra filter, our cleaning brush, and our main roller right there. Now let's go ahead, let's plug it in and try it out.
Start self-cleaning. Cleaning brush roller. Deep cleaning.
Here's a look at the base after self-cleaning. We have some water and dirt residue left over and a little bit of pet hair collected where the brush roller is. With our first clean out of the way, let's go ahead and see the results. Now, I want to preface this with the following. I actually filmed two other Tineco videos yesterday on the exact same floor, so I really wasn't expecting much today, given the fact that it's only been about 24 hours, a little bit less technically. But let's go ahead and look. We'll see how the filter looks. Really clean. And now we'll pull off the cover and we'll look inside. Not bad at all. We do have some typical collecting items here. We got our hair. See a couple of pieces like grass clippings, a little bit of dirt there. But we actually have a lot of floaters in there too. And I can't believe how dirty this water looks. Again, I just cleaned my floors twice yesterday with other Tinecos, but this is going to be the key here. The steam is what's making a difference, right? It's giving us an even deeper and more thorough clean than your typical wet dry vac would. So let's pour this out and see everything that we collected. Again, I can't believe how dirty that is for floors that were just cleaned yesterday, but tons of floaters. We even have a lot of dirt collecting in the very bottom there too. So look at everything that has settled in the very bottom of our dirty water tank, and you get a feel for what it's going to actually do to your floors as well. Now we're looking at the machine itself. So I went ahead, I popped off the cover, and we do have quite a bit of pet hair that's collected and accumulated on the inside. I see a couple pieces of grass clippings and stuff too, so you definitely want to wipe that down. And now looking at the main brush roller, we have a lot of hair here. I'm seeing quite a bit of hair that I can pull out from the roller. And a couple of pieces of debris here or there. We got a dirt line there. And then we have a buildup of some stuff right there along the edge as well. So not as clean as I would have thought, but you know, it's okay. It's not as good as a lot of the other Tineco machines, but not detrimental. And it's fairly dry too, even though it hasn't had any sort of time to dry since our clean. So long term, you definitely just want to keep an eye on this one a little bit more and stay up to date on wiping this down and maybe running this a couple of times through the self-clean. So how does the S5 Steam stack up against the competition? Well, let's find out. First, how loud is it? It peaks at 80 decibels compared to your average wet dry vac of 77. But in our opinion, there's no noticeable difference for the Steam versus your typical wet dry vac. 3 decibels isn't going to be anything worthwhile to notice side by side cleaning in the same room. Next, we're looking at in-use airflow. This is a new metric that we're trying to gather more data on to see what we can learn in the future as this database builds out. But we want to see higher numbers and values here because we hope that that means in the real world, you're going to get better cleaning performance. So in-use airflow measured on a flat surface at the brush roller peaks at 512 FPM compared to your typical wet dry vac of 406. So 106 FPM extra on the Steam. In regards to in-use suction, same thing. We're trying to build out our database here to see how useful this information is going forward. We peaked at 0.96 for our in-use suction. That's in kPAs compared to your typical wet dry vac of 1.45. So we are below average in in-use suction. Now, rated power measured in watts is going to be off the charts, 1440 watts. Now, again, this is plugged into a wall outlet compared to your typical cordless wet dry vac that is going to be cordless, and those average around 300 watts. So just keep that in mind. This isn't apples to apples due to the differences in power systems. Next, our clean water tank, though, measured in milliliters. This is going to be apples to apples, and in this case, 750 milliliters compared to your typical clean water tank size of 780. So we're slightly below average on this front. But the good news here is dirty water tank size is larger by about 100 milliliters. Next, let's talk about hot water self-clean. This feels like a pretty big miss that we do not have this feature and capability on our S5 Steam, especially because they've started to trickle it down to the Stretch S6 and the Switch S7. So since this model is dedicated all to steaming and getting hot water, it'd be awesome if we could incorporate that into the self-cleaning procedure into the future. But the good news here is only 1% that we've tested have hot water self-cleaning. Next up, we'll talk about edge cleaning. Also a miss. I don't know why we can't get at least one side of the brush roller with that edge cleaning capability, but in this case, neither side support edge cleaning, whereas your typical wet dry vac out there at least gives you one side for edge cleaning. Next up is LED lights. We do not have any built-in LED lights on the S5 Steam. I'm thinking that's because it's steaming right at the front, so the lights wouldn't do much anyways as that condensation collects on the front of the unit. But anyways, it'd be nice in the future if they could figure out a way to give us an LED light and the steam without them interfering with each other. Last but definitely not least, how much does this cost? Well, compared to the competition, you will notice that it's going to be more expensive than your typical wet dry vac, but the premium feature set that you're paying for here is the steam cleaning functionality. So you just have to ask yourself, how much is that worth to you? And in this case, it's going to be worth a couple $100 more than your typical wet dry vac. So where's that leave us in regards to the S5 Steam? Well, here's what you need to know. It's all about that steam, baby. If that's of utmost importance to you, this is going to be a great steam cleaner for you. You can get cordless versions out there, but don't. If you're going with that steam feature, and that's what you care most about, the batteries on the cordless versions don't last long enough to make them worthwhile, at least in my opinion, unless you're just doing tiny spills all the time. But I would much rather have the long power cord, which they give us here, and have basically unlimited use with a unit like this versus one that's limited by battery. So they got it right by giving us a long power cord. The steam gets plenty hot and it does a great job cleaning. Now, the only downside really is it doesn't have some of the latest and greatest features that are available on other Tineco models, like the stretch functionality, where basically you can push it all the way down to the floor to get those hard to reach areas. We don't have any edge or side cleaning options, and there's no great self-cleaning features like hot water washing and hot air drying. But again, this is really centered around the steam, and the good news there is just add tap water and that's it. You don't have to buy any more solution or anything along those lines. So it's a very capable steam cleaner.